start the very first chapter, that is the matter in our surrounding. Let's see what we are going to learn today. Today we are going to see the introduction of the chapter and the composition of matter, properties of matter and diffusion. Let's start. Now, the very first question arises in our mind is that what matter actually is. Matter is defined as anything that occupies a space and have mass is called matter. For example, pencil, pen, whiteboard, food that we eat, clothes that we wear, and houses in which we live. Everything around us is matter. Earlier, Indian and Greek philosophers believed that everything around us is made up of 5 basic elements that are air, water, sky, earth, and fire. They believe that these 5 basic elements combine to form different kinds of matter. For example, earth and air combine to form smoke, air and water combine to form soda water, fire and water combine to form tequila, and earth and fire combine to give drinks. These are just few examples. Now, matter comprises of particles. Actually, it comprises of a large number of particles. Those particles can be atoms or molecules. Now, let us see what particulate nature of matter means. This suggests that matter is made up of particles. Matter comprises of very small particles, those are atoms or molecules. Matter can be broken into small particles. Now, the kinetic theory of matter or the properties of matter are: all matter comprises of a small particle. These particles have spaces between them. These particles are continuously moving. The particles attract each other. Now, let us define these properties one by one. Before explaining the properties, we should give a look at this example. Example number 1 is diffusion of bromine vapor. In this, we have taken 2 cylindrical tubes divided by a slit. In one cylindrical tube, we have put the bromine vapors. When we remove the slit, the bromine vapors dissolve or diffuse in both the cylindrical tubes. Example number 2 is dissolution of potassium permanganate in water. When we put a crystal of potassium permanganate in water, it is completely dissolved. Similarly, when we put the sugar granules in water and give it a stir, we get a solution, a sugar solution. Example number 4, burning of incense stick. When we burn an incense stick, we can have a smell of it in the whole room. Example number 5 is dissolution of ink in water. When you put a drop of ink in water, it is completely dissolved. It changes the color of water. From all these examples, it is clear that our property number 1, that is all particles or all matter is made up of particles, a large number of tiny particles. These all examples support the very first property, that is all matter is made up of tiny particles. What is our property number 2? That is there are spaces between the particles of matter. From example 3, we can see that where these sugar granules go. When we dissolve sugar, the sugar granules first break into a smaller particle, and those particles get in the spaces between the particles of water. Now, the property number 3, that all particles are in random motion. From the diffusion of bromine vapors into the other cylindrical tube, we can say that these particles are in random motion. The property number 4, that is there is a force of attraction between the particles. Now, if we take 3 items that are chalk, wooden stick and iron nail, and if we apply force on them and try to break them, it is easy to break the chalk, a little difficult to break the wooden stick, and it is really more difficult to break the iron nail. So this suggests that there is a strong force of attraction between the particles of iron nail, then there is a much lesser force of attraction between the particles of chalk. Now we have explained all the 4 properties. Now let's see what diffusion is. The intermixing of particles of 2 or more substances on their own is called diffusion. The diffusion process usually takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. Now let's see the properties of diffusion. First property, it is fastest in gases, relatively low in liquid, and extremely slow in solids. It is seen when bromine vapors are dissolved or diffused in air, it is fastest, and when the drop of ink is dissolved in water, it is relatively slow. And when we write on blackboard with chalk and leave it for few days, it is seen that the particles of chalk have diffused with the blackboard, but it takes a lot of time. Now, property number 2, it increases with increase in temperature. It is easily observed that diffusion process is increased when we increase the temperature. Property number 3 is it is based on the motion of particle. Property number 4, lighter particle move faster than heavier particle. If we take example of helium gas and hydrogen gas, in this we can see that helium is easily diffused while hydrogen takes a little more time for diffusion.